What's up, healthy and holy family? And I just have to apologize that we have not released any new episodes for quite a while now, about 2 months. A lot has been happening, so we are moving into a kind of a permanent location. We're going to be building out a location to be able to shoot our podcasts more consistently, but also we are pursuing another business venture. And so I just have to fall on my sword right now. I apologize. I have not been able to edit the footage. I just have not had the time with baby boy, life, visiting family, different things going on. No excuses, just things that have happened. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to release these episodes over the next few weeks, and they're going to have this little introduction on there that says, hey, sorry this has taken so long to come out. We believe that the things that are talked about are still relevant, even though we were discussing them around particular holidays. So you're going to have some new footage coming to you pretty regularly, and probably we'll have like a little video like this attached to it. So enjoy this episode. Thank you for being patient with us. We're still here. We're just working on something a little bit bigger than what we did last year. So make sure you're following us on all of the social media accounts, and also check out our merch at imhnh.com because it helps us pay the bills now that we have rent. Anyways, enjoy the episode. Thanks for listening, and make sure you subscribe. Peace. Welcome to Healthy and Holy Lifestyle, a raw conversation with people who are figuring out faith, business, and everything in between. We're not scholars. We'll probably mess up a Bible verse, a story or two, but we're here to talk real life and real growth. Like, share, or drop a comment if something hits home. Let's grow healthy and holy together. Let's get it.
Conrad.
What's up, Steve?
Oh, we're back again. Guess what week it is?
Well, what week is it?
Thanksgiving week.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So that means I'm going to have to edit this one quick.
You got 4 weeks to get my present ready.
I got 4 weeks to get your present ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
a countdown to whatever, and we're going to reveal it on here, whatever he gives me.
Oh.
Probably a bill, but he'll give me something. Well, it's Thanksgiving week, so we're going to talk about things this week that we're thankful for. And because we've got I go around all the time complaining about everything in life. So this is going to be a nice change to actually sit back and count my blessings, I guess you'd say.
Squeeze in here.
You know, granted, I don't know much about the Indians and the Pilgrims and all that good stuff, but I do know what I'm thankful for.
There we go.
Number one, thankful for God.
Okay.
On my side, thankful for being saved and Him, taking all my sins away and
That's good.
taking the weight off my shoulders. Because we talk about the load that us men carry a lot of times, and women, of course, too.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do the day-to-day stuff when we have a guilty conscience and the devil's always beating us down. So for God to lift that weight of sin off of me, that's the number one thing. Because, some of us have people in our lives that love to remind us of all the things we did wrong. Even when the devil is taking a break and not reminding us, we still got people in our lives that will remind us of what we do wrong. So it's nice to serve a God that doesn't do things like that.
And that He loved us while we were sinners.
While we were sinners.
While we were totally the enemies of God. Scripture also says that you were once enemies of God. He loved us at that time. Yes. Like, I'm reading a book right now. It's by Watchman Nee, and it's Sit, Walk, Stand. It's a book I'm doing with this guys group that I'm in, but the part of it is that I can do nothing except accept the fact that Jesus did what couldn't be done by me. And He lived that perfect, sinless life. And He makes up for all my imperfections. And so, we're just laying our total depravity and wickedness at His feet and saying, I suck.
Yeah.
And if you don't cover for my suck,
right,
I'm going to be separated from the Father forever.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think it's so funny. So many people are Christian, but they don't fully understand what they've been forgiven of. Like it's like how can you not forgive others when you realize that God's forgiven you?
Right.
Like he forgave me when I wanted nothing to do with him. How
Right.
much more so is his grace available to me now that I have a desire to grow towards him? I may not always have actions to grow towards him, but that's why my actions don't save me.
I think sometimes it takes losing something to really appreciate what you had. And I know, like, the people in my life that I have left now that are still in my life, I'm so thankful for those people this week because I've lost so many. I mean, I've lost my mom, my brother, both of my sisters. I lost a son just a couple of years ago, and I almost lost another son, my youngest son. I almost lost him on his 20th birthday in a gas explosion. And there's so many things I look back on that God has brought me through all this tragedy and all this heartache. A best friend, a mentor, really, I lost him. And so, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So looking at this week, you think you're burdened by all this stuff that we carry, all this sin debt, all the financial debt we carry, the obligations that we have to our families. We're trying to make everybody happy. We're trying to please everybody. And then you think, well, when am I going to ever please myself? And most men don't have time to please themselves. They're too busy trying to make money and build a life and build a spiritual life also. And it's a tough balance sometimes because what you do more of in this area, you sacrifice time in another area because you can't be in two places at one time.
Yeah.
But the only thing that you can carry with you, no matter what you do, is you can carry Jesus with you. You can carry, the Holy Spirit with you to help you and guide you, but it's still extremely hard. Like I found a lot of times I spend too much time at work and not enough time at home. All of a sudden work gets easier because I'm used to that, but then work gets harder. But if I spend more time at work, like take a week off, you have a week with your family, and then all of a sudden you go back that first week back. It's tough to go back to work, But I'm just thankful that we even get to struggle because there's some people that don't even get to struggle. They're not even here anymore.
Yeah, well, and there's some people, I think it's funny. Like I'm thankful for God, but I'm also thankful for the life that He's allowing me to have right now, with all of its ups and downs, with all of its crazy situations that we've been thrown into over the years, because we've seen His faithfulness in the land of the living. We've seen His hand over our life and His provision, not just financially, but just providing relationships, providing people that we've connected with who have similar hearts, how we've connected. I mean, the fact that we ended up at a table together and you're saying, I lost my son, and I'm saying I lost my dad.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, Steve, you're going to be my dad, like nothing like that, but it was just this guy probably has some insight into how things would have been different if they could have been different or whatever. But then the flip side for me is I have some insight to maybe how things could have been different for my dad had I been lost, and so while I do grieve and I kind of have a lack of hope at times because I don't believe my dad knew the Lord. Based off his own confession and his own words or whatever. And I know some people say, that's not your call. I get that. I know that it's not ultimately my call. I'm just saying that based off my understanding of the gospel, I don't believe he believed it. Mm-hmm. And so I genuinely believe the word. And so if I genuinely believe the word, then I believe that he was probably not in the fold of God, right? And so there's a wrestle there. And I don't mean to laugh, but there's a wrestle there because it's like, I may never see my dad again because the Lord's not going to let me go to hell to see him. Yeah. We're separated, and so there's a struggle there at times that I grieve to somebody who does not have hope in that area. But at the same time, his death has caused me to want to live my life differently at a whole nother level, and to not worry about the things of this world so much that I don't focus on the things that do matter, to not let everything that's out there keep me from being present here, And so like, I'm trying to be present with Zane. It's hard. There are times where I'm like, I want to go be selfish and go do something I want to go do or whatever. But I'm also going, I don't want to be what I had. I don't want that. You know? So I'm thankful for life. I get the chance to hopefully not screw it up too bad.
And we do the best we can, for our families. But sometimes even our families don't feel like it's enough. And the man starts to feel very unappreciated for his effort, because he knows the effort he's put into it. He knows the, countless hours he's put in of planning to make the life you have for your family.
Yeah.
He's carrying all that. And, there's a word called, being appreciated or not feeling like you're not appreciated enough. And there's just, I don't know if sometimes society or social media or Hallmark movies do it, but I mean, you can be the best guy in the world, best husband in the world, but you're never going to measure up to what you see on TV or on social media, because people are playing parts, and I would love for my family to be appreciative of what I do, what I do right now, you know? But I need them to push me a little bit, because I can get complacent. And I'm okay with them saying, I need more. But at the same time, I've only got so much more to give. It just be thankful. One, I want them to be thankful for what I am able to do. But I still want them, maybe there's a balance there. I still want them to push me to be able to be more.
It's how they push you though too,
right? It's how they push you.
If somebody's celebrating the areas you're doing great on, like you're firing on all cylinders. Something happens inside of you that's like, I'm going to keep rising up. But if they're always pointing out the things you're failing in, and you're not even being noticed for where you're winning, you're like, well, why is it even worth winning in that area?
Or maybe it's not even getting mentioned. The areas you are doing good in.
And I know we've talked about this before, man, but like the other side of things is most people only see their social media feed, right? They see the picture that's the best picture. They see the moment that's the perfect moment. There's so much of our lives that we can't share, right? And there's so much of our lives that other people don't see. And so I think for a lot of people, not just men, but a lot of people, they feel like they're a fraud. They feel like I'm not who you think I really am. I've known guys that were like fitness dudes, and they would work out like crazy, and they looked great, and they did all the things, but then they go stuff their face, and eat their feelings, outside of that. And they're like, well, I work out like that so I can eat whatever I want. And it's like, really? Or is there maybe there's something else there, what I mean? Where you're trying to please all these people and look this perfect image. But you feel over here where you're just like, well, and I don't know, maybe you're hungry from working out that hard. I don't know that, the other side, because I also know people who work out and they have crazy diets and they do all this just to like look good. And they look miserable at other times, and, it's one of those things where if we could pull the blinds up in probably just about everybody's life, we would see something very different than what we're used to seeing. And, I've had people before, they're like, you guys are couple goals. And I'm like, we're not perfect. Man, sometimes I get in a little, what do you call it? Passive aggressive, because I don't want to be full aggressive, and I don't want to be, I don't want to hurt her feelings. So I'm afraid to say something that's going to hurt her feelings. So instead I'm just going to kind of mosey around a little bit, or, whatever. And I'm not typically a passive aggressive type of guy. But with my wife, I'm like, I don't want to piss her off full on. So I'm like, I'll just, and she listens to this. Maybe she'll be like, oh, I kind of see it now. But I also have times where like something's in my crawl.
Yeah.
And I just tell her, this is how I'm feeling right now. And then she's like, well, I don't know where that's from, and we've had disagreements. We've had times where we didn't talk for a while.
Yeah.
We had one day where I didn't talk to her for the whole day. I was just mad.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me right now, Steve, what was that about? I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We just had a day where like I just did not talk to her. I literally walked by her, went to the kitchen, got a drink, went back into my office.
Yep, slept on the seam of the bed.
Yeah, just laid on the very edge of the bed. And I try to make it right by the time we go to bed, where I say it even if I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
I say, I love you, and I hope you sleep well, or something like that. But there's also times where I don't say anything at all, and I'll be honest, right? We're not perfect.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'm real quick to just turn over, face that wall, and just, Lord, please let me fall asleep.
Yeah. I don't want to talk. I don't want to,
fall asleep or take me now. Whichever one. I'll take a rapture if you got it.
Especially if that fire is kind of lit. You're like, please don't bring it up. Please don't say it because I'll probably blow up. And I know some people will be on here and going, I can't believe you say you'd blow up. I'd rather admit that I'll blow up than blow up.
That's right.
And so I say, just let me process and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
We had a thing early on in our marriage, and this is one of the things I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for our relationship. I'm thankful for the fact that I told her, you don't get to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then I immediately have to just, whoop, as far as the east is from the west.
Yeah.
Your I'm sorry is your end of I'm sorry. Forgiveness is my response in the time frame that, so I may be processing what you said, and you said I'm sorry, and I'm glad you said I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm processing that, and that takes time. And so I used to tell people all the time when they said, well, I'm going to go tell this person I'm sorry for hurting them. I said, but they're not obligated to forgive you in that moment.
Yeah.
That's a process that they have to walk out in whatever time frame they walk it out in. And I've had family situations, and probably, Steve, you've had family situations where I offended a family member. I meant well in what I was doing overall, but it hurt some people.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't see what I see. My family always causes a stir up. Some drama stuff happens. I'm not inviting this person, and then I don't invite this person, and then this person's mad, and then that person's coming at me because this person said this. I ain't got time for all that. So none of y'all are,
Well, this is the week for that, Thanksgiving. When
it's Thanksgiving, brother.
You got to sit across from family members / enemies / frenemies, people you haven't talked to in years,
and people who've let you down, and people but then there's also the side of what I said earlier is realizing who we are in Christ allows us to walk differently with people who've hurt us in life.
We're supposed to be different.
And it was funny, Steve, just last night we had a Thanksgiving with my aunt. Because they're going out of town, and she said we're going to do like a little get together here with some family and whatnot, and my uncle said he'd been listening to the podcast, and so we were like talking about something. I said, man, I got an episode that we're going to release, and Steve hit me with some hard stuff, and I said, man, I didn't know what to say in that moment. I said I didn't want to say anything in the wrong way because each person's situation is different, and I said, I know that I had hurt some of our family. And it wasn't my intention to hurt our family, but it was so much drama that was going on, and I just could not deal with it. That's not what my wedding was about. That's not what, and so I told him, I said, I know it hurt people, and there's probably people still mad at me, and I said, one of the ones that hurt was the ones I was close with, or reasonably close with, that they weren't invited, and they were hurt. And they told me that years later that they were still hurting from that, that it still bothered them. And I said, I'm sorry, but you're not obligated to forgive me right now.
Right.
You're not obligated to forgive me right now. Yeah. I'm sorry that it hurt you, but I had my reasons.
That's the thing, man. We have all this anticipating of when someone's coming to Thanksgiving dinner or to a holiday dinner or whatever, and you have all this anxiety. And I think about, I think it's Jacob and Esau. And the way Jacob, he had to fight with, he had to fight with the Lord, and the Lord touched his hip and broke his hip. And as soon as his brother saw that he was hurt, it wasn't the gifts that he saw that he was going to get, but it was the fact that even he had all this animosity against Jacob, and he probably was going to be in the right for killing Jacob, but he saw his brother hurt. There was still some love of
Yeah.
that twin brother. You know, he knew there was still that connection, and he saw his brother hurt.
And then the other side is Jacob's like, I messed up big.
Yeah.
And so like, look, I may have screwed up your birthright.
Yeah. But here, take all this.
I'm blessed, so you can be blessed. You know? And there's something, I mean, there's something to be said with that, right? Like if people have had a bad falling out or something like that, maybe there is some retribution or there's some, but oftentimes though, and this is what I'm thankful for the opportunity to reconcile.
Yeah.
It doesn't
you
mean
only have today.
but it doesn't mean it's going to be reconciled. But I'm thankful for the opportunity to attempt to.
Yeah.
You know, I had a family member that it was literally like I saw him in public, and I literally put my arm around my wife, and I had a fist ready because I thought they were going to come at me.
Yeah.
That's where my relationship was with a family member. Well, I was like, I'm going to have to fight this person in Lowe's.
Yeah.
You know, like how much more country can you get than that?
There
like,
are way too many weapons in Lowe's.
There are, brother, let me tell you, I will go down a certain aisle.
I'm telling you, you got to pick an aisle. You need to just go over to the tub area or somewhere.
No, I know the area where the long pry bars are. No, just kidding.
Don't go to the tool station to have a fist fight. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got to go somewhere where nobody can pick up anything.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Go somewhere where nobody can pick up something.
A tub or
I'm already prepared. I'm walking around with it like a walking stick.
You don't want to be in the lead pipe section at the time.
For real though. But I'm also, once again, I'm thankful for that opportunity to reconcile because that moment wasn't it. It was still very tense. It was still very whatever. But there was another moment not long from that, and I immediately opened up with, how you been? What's going on in your world? And like nothing had changed.
Yeah.
And I've had family members delete and block me before. I've had friends delete and block me. And I try to let them know nothing has changed on my end. My love for you, although our relationship severed, I still care about you as a person. I'm not dehumanizing you because we had a fallout. You're still valuable, and your relationship is valuable to me if you want to have a relationship. Yeah. If you don't want to, then it is what it is.
I saw that in practice one time when my son, I mentioned before that my son was injured in a gas explosion. He was horribly burned. And we needed I didn't want to go buy one. I mean, I had plenty of money to go buy one, but I put out on Facebook that we needed a potty chair because he was going to be coming home and he was going to need a potty chair because he wasn't going to be able to make it to the bathroom to do it. And so if anyone had one that they weren't using, maybe they had a family member that wasn't using it anymore, or maybe they got the newest model and they had an extra one.
What kind of upgrade does it get? Automatic lift?
Some of them might have a little bidet squirter on there. I don't know. Had a hose attachment to it. But if anybody had just the basic model, we could borrow it.
You're not going to get in trouble for sharing this story, are you? He's going to be like, man, my dad said that on
when we got done with it, we'll give it back to you if you want it back. But,
we're going to have a couple of taco nights, but I'm just kidding.
The person that answered the call, I thought it would be, just somebody out there in the Facebook universe, and the friends and family and all. An uncle actually bought it for my son, who we kind of had beef at the time.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't a recent beef, but we had beef in the past.
It was still something that was kind of...
It was still there.
There was still a wound there.
We hadn't addressed it in front of each other.
Right.
And he was the first person immediately. He brought it to the hospital. My son didn't even got home yet. I just needed it when he got home. He brought it to the hospital. Bought a brand new one. Went and bought a brand new one and brought me a brand new one. Now, he pulled up. He called up there and said, hey, it's down here. It's in the back of my truck. And I walked out there to get it, and he looked out the window of the truck. He said, it's right there in the back. And I reached over and I grabbed it, and he drove off. Granted, the animosity was still there,
but he wanted to be
but the Christian in him was not going to let me be in need, even though there was still beef.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and you brought that up, so
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of my uncle. Was like, I'm still mad at you, but
But I
here's
care
what you,
but I
but here's
care.
what you need. You know, it's
Yeah.
like the old man that's mad at his wife, been fighting at her because she's been chewing his butt all day, but it starts raining. He pulls out the umbrella and holds it over anyway,
Right.
even though he's still
Right.
mad at her.
Right.
You know, one of them kind of things.
Firing mad. He's letting the water bounce on his head.
Yeah,
just to
he's
cool him
getting
down.
wet. Yeah, so she don't mess up her $80 haircut that she's got.
Daddy's
every
mad
2
that she
weeks.
got.
Yeah, she's got it re-blued because it mostly is blue hair.
But I think that's also like something that we can be thankful for too, right? Is when we value people beyond the feelings that are,
We have for them,
anger,
yeah.
like the things that brought anger. When we value them, I'm thankful that often the Lord gives me the perspective and the desire to love people well, even when they're angry as hell at me.
Yeah.
Because I still make people mad. I'm human, right? Like that's just part of what we do. We get in our flesh.
I can't see you doing it, but you've usually so.
No, I definitely have. I'm also, we hadn't really dove into this, but I'm very thankful for my wife being, caring and understanding and, intentional. And she's like keeping track of all the foods that Zane is eating. And she's keeping track of, this is what I feed him at this time. This is what we feed him at this time. And like, I know some people are going to go, you don't pay attention to any of that. I can't keep up with what she's doing on top of everything else that I'm doing. And so I'm like, well, honey, how can I serve in this area? How can I help? And so like, she'll say, hey, you get his lunch. She'll have it already, in the refrigerator or whatever. All I got to do is, heat it up slowly and stir it up or whatever. But she is so on top of those things. And that does free up a lot of space in my mind to not have to worry about those things. And like, we've kind of got a pattern of when he goes down for a nap. And I usually start working right when he goes down for a nap. I'm like working on something because when he's awake, I often find myself ending up having to be present at times.
Yeah.
Today was one of those days. Today is a day that she has a coffee with a friend. She, does a little bit of shopping that we need or whatever. She's also like, hey, go do something for yourself, right? Like you go get coffee with her friend, go get something you need or want, within reason. No, here's a $500 budget or nothing, but
300.
250. I'm just kidding, but she'll get some time away.
Yeah.
And she's not worried about me taking care of Zane or whatever. But Zane did not want to nap today. And I knew we were going to do the podcast. And I was like, if this kid does not go to sleep soon, and like I finally got him asleep, and then the dog's wagging her tail, whatever. So as soon as she gets home, she knows I've been with Zane since she left for coffee this morning.
Yeah.
And he has been rough. He's not slept. He's been screaming. He's teething.
Yeah. Well, if
Whatever it's called.
And where I come from, we only have a certain amount of teeth, so it's toothing.
It's toothing, right? I got tongue tied with the teeth and toother. Yeah. But anyways, he's teething and he's having all these, this stuff. He's screaming and all this stuff's going on. As soon as she came home, she's focused on some groceries and stuff, and then she grabs Zane up and she's like, "Here's your lunch." It was like 2 o'clock or something like that, or 1:30. I can't remember what time exactly. But she showed up. She's like, "Here's your lunch. Enjoy your lunch." And I was like, I just have to decompress for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you tell me, I'm like packing because I'm getting ready for what we're doing. And it's like, I'm so thankful to have a wife that understands, like, Tuesday morning is her, here's your freedom to go do these things. But then as soon as you get home, I got to be back on my thing.
On that grind.
Yeah. And like tomorrow is my men's group at 6 a.m. So I do this. I go home and I maybe load some files on the computer and then I shut everything down, put everything away.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting up early. Yeah. And then I go to the men's group and then I go work from a coffee shop or something like that and try to work work on some things or meet with people or whatever is going to happen. And then it's like, whew, and then I get home and then she's like, here, and so I'm thankful that we have a relationship that says, I understand that you need me to handle this at this time. Mm-hmm. And, I need you to handle it at this time. And so we have that type of a relationship. But Steve, we're still human. We still get frustrated with each other. I'm not perfect. I didn't do the dishes the other day and she like started doing them and I was working on something and I was like, oh, frick. because she was already started. And I was like,
Yeah.
it would be a double insult to show up now and go, I'm gonna do them now,
Yeah.
you know? And so I was like, well, thank you for getting those. I was going to. And she goes, well, I needed them done. I'm like, okay, you know, I'll get out the way. You know, but that's one of those things I'm thankful for, is to have a woman that loves the Lord and she knows to give me grace when I fall short. And I try to give her grace when she falls short.
That's got to be nice to have a wife that gives you that kind of grace. That's amazing.
But we're still human.
Yeah.
We have moments where the grace is not there.
I guess they probably give us grace when we don't realize they're giving us grace. Maybe we don't see it. Maybe we don't realize it until later down the road that, you know, there's probably been a lot of times where they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
You know, they've let 10 things slide and they're finally blowing up over this one thing.
Right.
And we're thinking, well,
They always mad at something.
It's only been 10 minutes since you blew up about something. You're like, yeah, but for the last 10 minutes, I've been wanting to yell at you for about a bunch of other stuff you ate.
You did something wrong every 30 seconds. You're like,
But what about that one right thing I did last week?
Right. That's
You know? I was like, I painted the kitchen this past week.
Don't get in trouble,
here,
Steve.
you know?
Don't get in trouble.
I live in trouble, so it's all good.
Live in trouble.
I mean, but it's a ministry, so
It's that's why it's our first ministry.
Yeah.
The Lord's like, all right. That's why Paul said it's better
Yeah.
that you don't.
See, me and Tara have this understanding that, you know, we're in a relationship together because some people are hard to love. I think she's hard to love sometimes. She thinks I'm hard to love all the time. So that's the kind of relationship we have. So that's how we wing it.
Well, and then, you know, and I think once again, we're all on a journey.
Yeah.
And so as we continue to grow together and we meet with other people and we hear other stories and we learn from other people's mistakes or whatever, you know, I'm not some super romantic, you know, crazy novel type of love.
You mean you didn't save her pumpkin farm?
No, I didn't, man. I didn't do anything like that. And we don't have a dog named Snowbell or Tinkerbell or anything like that. You know,
Y'all
it's
didn't
a
meet at the
Hallmark
corn
movie.
maze?
No. We are not a Hallmark movie.
No.
But like, you know, her birthday was coming up. And when I ordered something, it showed up way later than when it was supposed to arrive. I don't know what it is about where we live, but it's like 2 days, 5 days later, you know, you're like,
well, you literally live in a map town. So
I know that is true.
I'm from Belton,
Where my green grass grows, you know. But we have a tiny yard. We could have had a big yard, but it is what it is. But anyways, like her birthday, you know, this thing came and I was like, oh, I'm going to put up this little happy birthday sign. Well, then I had to make these decorations. I thought it came with the decorations.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Au contraire. Read the description. I had to figure out how to make these little pom-pom frilly things, and I was ripping the tissue paper. And I was like, this is going to be ugly as fire by the time I get done. And then I was like, man, how am I going to blow up these balloons? Because I suck at blowing up balloons. And then the next morning, I had her little sign set up. I just gave up on the balloons, and she goes, you know, I said, yeah, I was going to have these balloons, but I just did not have it in me to get those done. It was like 2:30 when I went to bed that night. She's already in bed because I waited for her to go to bed before I started working on it. And and she was like, you have a balloon inflator in the car. And I was like, oh, man, I had never unpacked it. It's like under the seat of my Scion. There's a balloon inflator. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. I was mad as man. I was so mad.
That's one thing I'll never understand is why women expect these, which I'm not saying Clava did this by no means.
Don't get me in trouble for no reason.
I certainly don't want to get in trouble. But they expect these grand gestures. You know, I think it's because of social media and movies. They expect these grand things, you know, for you to do for them. I remember me and Tara were watching Patch Adams with Robin Williams. And there's a scene in there where there's this girl that he really wants to impress. And for her birthday, he filled up his entire dorm room with balloons. I mean, floor to ceiling balloons, had a party going on, and you had to fight through the balloons to see her because she had never had a birthday party.
Right.
So he threw this, he had this huge grand thing he did for her. She walks in, she's blown away, and that was kind of the tipping point of the movie where she sees just how much he really loves her and he wants to, you know, be with her and wants to impress her. It's because she's been saying no, 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 playing hard to get this whole time. And Tara's like, isn't that just the sweetest thing in the world that somebody could do something like that? They spend all that money filling up this whole room, the whole, 2 or 3 bedroom, whatever this thing is, dorm room. And at the end of the movie, I pulled it up online. Come to find out, this woman never even existed. That's just somebody they added in the movie. Because, Patch Adams supposed to be
based on a true story.
And come to find out, this woman never even existed. So this whole grand thing wasn't even real. So I couldn't wait to tell Tara that wasn't real and that this woman wasn't real and then this never happened.
Well, and Hollywood does a really good job of something that is very stressful and and I look, man, I've met people who their engagement was over anything that I couldn't even think at the level some of these guys got engaged at, and they still got divorced.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got a dude who's doing something straight out of a novel.
Yeah.
And then they still get up and break up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they want the Cinderella fairy tale, man.
You got, what was it? My wife did the flowers for anybody. Here's a famous shout out. My wife did the flowers for J-Lo and Ben's wedding.
Oh, wow.
Right. So her and another crew and other people, not just her, but crew of people. She was a part of doing the flowers for J-Lo's wedding. That wedding was like millions of dollars, was a lot of money.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
Yeah, they didn't last.
Dude, if J-Lo and Ben Affleck, right? That's his name. If they can't stay together, what hope do average Joe's like we, like, bro, he can buy.
That's why I've been married 3 times.
But that's the expectation that gets put on people is that we're gonna have this this picture perfect wedding.
Yeah.
We're gonna have this picture perfect life. Every birthday, something amazing is gonna happen. And I'm thankful. Clava's not like that.
Yeah.
But she does have good taste when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
So she's not like a purse girl and shoe girl and all that. But I would love a Tahoe or a Denali SUV girl.
Yeah.
Right? I like, off-roading, going out in the woods and hunting. I'd love a brand new shotgun or rifle. And, she's that type of girl. So like, she may not be purses and all that stuff all the time. But the other side of it is that she still likes nice things.
Yeah.
She likes her kitchen to be really nice. She likes, we're looking at houses and she's like, well, I don't know about that kitchen. I'm like, heck, this house has a 40,000 square foot
garage. And I can put a lot of tools in there.
I'm like, honey, we could tear that house down.
And I know what house you're talking about.
For this price. But she was okay with looking at it. There was already an offer and some stuff happened, but it was like, can we sacrifice for a little bit? Just to have that? That's $1 million property like in town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Multi-million-dollar property.
It is.
And it was like, we could rent this out. So like my brain's automatically going, this can set us up for future things. But like a lot of times with our wives, they're worried about the now and being comfortable right now.
Yeah.
And that's a weight that we carry.
Yeah.
I'm thankful once again that my wife is a lot better than most. She doesn't need all the fancy frills and thrills. She was excited over the signs that I made from Amazon, and you can go look it up. I didn't pay that much money for it, but I made that for her. And I said, I wanted to take you out to eat, but we've had some challenges, some things have been happening. And so, what would you like to do? Like, she doesn't tell me what she likes. Steve, I give her money to go buy something for herself, and she shows
brought
up
you back with
clothes or shoes.
I remember she brought you something back last time.
She showed up with Adidas the other day because Sam's Club had them for like nothing.
Wow.
And she was like, what do you think of these? She was like, what shoes do you like? She's taking pictures, sending them to me. I'm like, I'm trying to work. What is this?
I remember.
And so I'm like, what? So she wanted to go to the aquarium. So we took, I bought the tickets, planned it. All right, Wednesday, I'm not doing any work. We're getting up. We're going to the aquarium. I'm not talking to people on the phone. I'm not doing any of that, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
So we went to the aquarium just last week, went to the aquarium. We enjoyed ourselves in Atlanta all day, came home kind of late, but it was just one of those things where it was like, it was kind of extravagant, but it wasn't extravagant in the sense of like what some people would really, really, really expect. Now, I will say also, I did buy for the full year ticket so that we can go again, and it won't cost us anything.
Yeah.
Except for the drive and going out to eat or whatever. But if you eat
At the aquarium? Sheesh. That's money, brother.
I'd be eating some fish in there.
right. I'm going to eat it right out there.
I'll take that gray shark right there.
That's sushi. I'm going to give me some. Oh, you got some tuna in there?
Yeah. I'll take that giant crab you got right there.
Hey, I've been watching that stuff on the Discovery Channel. Them tunas are worth a lot of money.
Yeah, buddy. So is them crab.
That's some crab. Yeah.
Big old whatever they are. Red crab.
But like all that to be said, man, like I'm thankful, obviously I'm thankful for family.
Yeah.
We had Butch and Jennifer come and visit, and that was such a blessing for us. And that was part of Clava's birthday too. They came to visit, but they got to be around Zane and just laugh and giggle and goof off. And, now I will say there's an interesting dynamic there. At times we can't share, our memories together because other family members might get upset.
Yeah.
And I hate that that's a burden that we have to carry, is like we can't really share this moment that was amazing. Zane was giggling, pushing something, and you could hear dad in the backdrop. But, for somebody like me, when my dad's gone, I got a broken past or whatever, to have a dad that's there kind of like, it's like, man, I want to be able to celebrate this and celebrate him. But it's like, some people get mad about this. So we bought him a frame so we could send him pictures.
Yeah.
We bought him one of them digital frames so we can send pictures, and we're not posting it for the world to see that we're hanging out with our family.
Right.
But they get to see that they're a part of those memories. And
you reminded me of something. My mom passed away in 2015, and I used to try to spoil her on all the major holidays and her birthday and Mother's Day, all those things. And because I knew I only had one mom, and she was, as they say, these young people say today, my ride or die. She was always my plan B. If the whole world fell apart, my plan B was right there. Always going to be there. And I felt like I tried to appreciate her while she was alive. Mm-hmm. I know there's always more I could have done, but once she was gone, there was a huge void because you don't realize how much your family revolves around each other. Until that person's gone and that void is there, and all of a sudden that phone isn't ringing. That familiar person calling you all the time. And so when I met Tara, her mom's still alive and doing great. I mean, she probably has more energy than I do, and she's in her late 70s. And I appreciate her, so we try to do pretty nice things with her. And she's a real hard person to buy for. She don't really like for you to do a whole lot for her.
Right.
But the one thing we do every Sunday is we have Sunday dinner with her, Sunday lunch with her after church. And in the beginning, I remember being maybe I should be more thankful now, but in the beginning, having that person there and who she represented, I would get on to Tara if Tara, would say anything negative about her mom, which she doesn't say anything negative about her mom. But at the time, if she got aggravated with her mom, I'm like, you just don't understand. That's your mom,
There will be a day that she won't be here.
I mean, when that phone don't ring, it's you're going to miss that person. It don't matter, if that person gets on your nerves sometimes or not. That person means something in your life. And because I appreciated her mom being there all the time because I didn't have that.
Right.
So when I first met Tara, I brought flowers for her mother and Tara at the same time. Because it was like, I may possibly have a mother figure in my life again by having Nana there.
Yeah. See, people who have lost, and that's another thing, right? It's easy for us to go, you have no idea what you have. To people who don't treat them well or whatever, like you have no idea what you currently have.
Yeah.
Because you haven't been in these shoes. And I pray you're never in these shoes.
Right.
But, make the most of the time that you have right now with the family and the people in your life. And this is why we've said before, and I'll say it again, do whatever it takes to attempt to reconcile, because there's nothing worse. There's no greater pain than the fact that, like, my dad and I did not have a great relationship when he passed. Because I wanted so desperately for that to be different. But for whatever reason, it wasn't. And it's like, man, there's so much now that if I would have had more time with my dad, if I would have spent more time with him, obviously you never spend enough time, and I get that. But like, if there could have been some healing that would have taken place, I think it would be different. It would be different how it feels that he's gone and that there's no way to impact anything anymore, really. Like, it's just, yes, I have some of the things that he worked on, and I've tried to take care of them and keep them running. And, recently I just took the Chevelle for a spin the other day and picked up one of my neighbors, because I was like, what's up, man? He's like, you want to go for a ride? Boy, he already had his coat on when he got pulled up his driveway because I finally got it, going. And he's like, let's go. I was like, dang, he just came running out the door. I told his wife, I tell him I'm out here. He came running out, and he's like, let's go. But, we just drove around for a minute. But, it's one of those things where for anybody out there, like, truly realize, like, you're not promised tomorrow. They're not promised tomorrow. As much as it be to you, live at peace with everyone, but try to bring some type of healing to the relationship. My mom's and my relationship's not perfect. My mom knows I love her. I do forgive her, but it is hard to forget, how you've been hurt and how you've been taken advantage of at times and different things. And so I know if she listens to this part, she'll maybe get upset with me, but I'm not doing that for this reason. I'm just saying people have been hurt and they still carry hurt. It is hard to walk in healing.
Yeah.
And live in healing when they bore the hurt for so long. So the best thing people can do is start working on the healing now.
Yeah, because we're not guaranteed a tomorrow.
Right.
And anybody listening, take it from somebody who knows. If you have a beef with your brother, try to settle it immediately today. Because I thank God, me and my brother, we, when he died, we were on great terms. Mm-hmm. And my son, when he died, that's another phone call that I can't make anymore. And I'll never get to hear that voice again, not on this side of heaven anyway. And so, and for my mom, she's gone now. I can't talk to her. I can't talk to my sister.
Yeah.
I can't talk to my best friend and mentor. He's gone now. I can't talk to a father-in-law I had who was closer to me than probably any best friend I ever had in my life. He was the kind of father-in-law that just lived to pass down knowledge to me, and I remember that's why I took to your father-in-law so much, Butch, was because, my father-in-law who passed away was in law enforcement too. And, the stories, the times that he had, the way he built his career, that was so interesting. I got locked in a conversation with Mr. Butch, your father-in-law, at your baby shower. And I was like talking to my father-in-law again. And I was just glued to every single thing that come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And I remember, but I appreciate it, and I was so thankful to meet somebody like Mr. Butch because it reminded me of my father-in-law, Maurice. And I just, you think about how thankful you are for people who have passed on because you can't, call them and talk to them now. Right. But there's still a lot of people alive now that I'm thankful they're in my life, but I wish I was closer. I need to take more time to build on those relationships because even if they're not building on it, one of us has got to start building on it and showing some kind of appreciation. Even for that uncle who brought me that chair. Probably haven't talked to him since that day. But, hopefully through this podcast, maybe he's listening, or maybe he will one day. He'll know that how much I really appreciate it. And I know that he fought his flesh all the way to the store and got that potty chair for my son. And he fought that flesh all the way to the hospital because I could see it on his face when he was like, the chair's in the back of the truck. Didn't bring it up, but the chair's in the back of the truck.
But he's still, even in his hurt, he wanted to help.
He wanted to help.
And meet a need. And I think that's something that we can kind of land the plane on. Guys, be thankful.
Yes.
That you are in a position right now, if you're breathing, to make things right with those that things are broken with. You're in the position help somebody. It may not be materially. It may be just serving. It may just be coming out and working on something, fixing something. I mean, I think back to my grandmother and how I laughed at her when she was trying to fix a door that fell off the tracks because my heart was so hard.
Yeah.
Now I'm thankful that my life got transformed before she passed and I became a helper to her.
Yeah.
She could call me and I would come over and help. But I'll never forget the time that I laughed at her because I was mocking that she believed in God.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, Lord, give me wisdom on how to fix this or help me or something, help me fix this because I don't know how to do it, or something like that. And it was something so simple. I was like, you're so stupid. It's just fell off the track. But I think back now to you were so stupid.
Yeah.
That you were there to help her. And instead you talked down to her, Now, did she carry that? I don't know if she carried that. She was, we had a way more healed relationship by the time she passed. But thank God. Thank God that I did restore that relationship.
And that you had the time to do it.
That I had the time to do it, My grandma in Connecticut, like when my dad passed away, I would call her constantly. And I even set up a plan to go see her. And that's when they told me that she was, on her deathbed due to, whatever situations. But then they were afraid of her getting COVID, which was like, you literally tell me she's dying, and now you're telling me I can't come because she might get COVID. She's dying,
Yeah.
At least if she gets COVID, they'll pay for the funeral.
True.
But the other side of it, was, I did everything that I could up until that point to maintain the relationship and keep the relationship. And so, for anybody out there, if your family is still alive, is still available. And I know we kind of said this is like right before Thanksgiving. And so we're not gonna be able to post two things that are about Thanksgiving right back to back. It'll mess up our flow with podcasts.
Yeah.
But also think about Christmas coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Think about, any holiday where you could be getting together with family, but also why wait till the holidays?
Yeah, because you might see them in Walmart.
Yeah, why wait till the holidays? Or you might not see them at all. You just shoot them a text and say, hey, I know we haven't talked in a while. I just want you to know I love you. And I was thinking of you.
Yeah.
I don't know who that person is that God's putting on your heart right now.
There's always somebody that needs that.
But just imagine what an email, a text, or a letter in the mail could do. Where you could write, I know our relationship is strained. I know we've had some hard things happen. And no matter who's at fault, whatever it is, I just want you to know I love you. And I miss our relationship.
True.
And if it's not that type of redeemable in the sense of like you want to be super close to them, at least say, I love you and I'm thinking of you and I hope things are going well with you. Because you never know what that could do to a hurting heart. It could bring a lot of healing. And so if you're going to be thankful for anything, be thankful for the time that you have right now to get right with God and to get right with others. Amen. Thank y'all for listening to this episode that went longer than we thought it was.
Thank you. And I'm thankful for Conrad, 100%.
I'm thankful for Steve, man.
He brings so much to my life, and he'll never understand it, but I'm sure that I bring him lots of examples of what not to do.
Nah, Steve is great, y'all. Steve is great. And anybody who's listening, if you're not following us, follow us. Check out the merch, imhnh.com. Your support helps.
Yeah, because his baby needs a new rattle.
Yeah, no, I need to get more. I need to get more equipment, man. We need to get something we can leave set up.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to. I don't have to carry all this stuff back and forth, and we can get a little bit better set up. And we need to just sell some stuff. I got bills to pay.
Yeah, I got a garage full of stuff I need to sell.
Right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We hope you have a blessed day. This is Healthy and Holy Lifestyle. Make sure you follow us. Peace.